Downing Street has lashed out at Canadians who toppled statues of Queen Elizabeth II and Queen Victoria. Protesters took action yesterday on the public holiday of Canada Day in response to a scandal over the deaths of Indigenous children. Almost 1,000 unmarked graves have been found at former residential schools in British Columbia and Saskatchewan that were mainly run by the Catholic Church and funded by the government. Outraged, protesters in the city of Winnipeg chanted "No Pride in Genocide" before ripping the statues off their plinths. As you would expect, we obviously condemn any defacing of statues of the Queen, the Prime Minister's spokesman said this afternoon as he criticized the actions of the protesters. Canada retains Queen Elizabeth as its head of state, and while Victoria reigned from 1837 to 1901 when the country was part of the British Empire. The statues were covered in red paint to symbolize blood on their hands, while protesters kicked and danced around the monuments. While critical of the attacks on the sculptures, the No. 10 official said the Prime Minister was sorry to have heard about the discovery of the Indigenous graves. They said, "Our thoughts are with Canada's Indigenous community following these tragic discoveries, and we follow these issues closely and continue to engage with the Government of Canada of Indigenous matters." The residential schools routinely forcibly separated Indigenous children from their families for 165 years, with the practice still taking place as late as 1996. They would then be subjected to malnourishment and physical and sexual abuse in what a commission on the matter in 2015 described as cultural genocide. Mr. Johnson has faced problems with protesters defacing statues at home too, with activists targeting a number of monuments across the UK last summer in light of the Black Lives Matter movement. A statue in Bristol of slave trader Edward Colston, who left most of his wealth to charities upon his death in 1721, was thrown into the river in June 2020.